So the holes that I drilled for the side dots on the 12th fret were not centered between the two frets. So, hey, I screwed up. I screw up. I'm going to show you I screw up, and I'm going to make it a learning experience. So what I'm going to do is fix it, and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so I screwed up and I wasn't paying attention, and these two dots, as you can see, are not centered between the frets. So here's how we're going to fix it. I'm going to drill these two dots out. Take the next size larger drill bit and drill them out, making sure there's no black left in there. Okay, which there isn't. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go take some extra binding, and I'm going to mix it with some acetone and then fill these holes up with that, and let it sit overnight. Let it cure up, and then we'll re-drill the holes. This cup is resistant to acetone, so it won't eat it up. Pour a little bit of that in there. Now we take our end nippers and let's cut some small pieces of binding, drop it in the acetone. The smaller you cut your pieces, the quicker they'll dissolve. So we'll be back in a few minutes and I'll show you this. Alright, we're back. And what we got in here is, the stuff is not totally liquefied, but it's very, very soft. So we're going to take a little piece of that, if we can get it separated. Okay. Now, work it into the hole. There we go. I got a razor blade. Just gonna push it in as far as we can get it go in there. All right. That's it. We'll try another piece in the other hole. Okay. Get out the razor blade. Force it into the hole. Don't worry about getting it on the wood. We'll scrape it off after. All right. So, now we still got some in the cup here. So what I'm going to do is put a cover over it so all the acetone doesn't evaporate. And this is already starting to harden up. So now we're going to let that sit overnight. Okay, so I've been working on it. And there it is. You can see it's still a little lumpy, but continue to sand it flat. Scrape bottom line so we can get that looking good. You see it's still lumpy. So I'm going to be going at it with straight edge razor, probably some 600, some 800 grit, and we'll see if we can make it seamless. Alright, so just about done. It's looking alright. And now it's all set to line up the jig and drill the holes over again. I'm going to wait probably 2 or 3 days. I want to make sure that the slurry that I put in those holes is completely cured and at least, you know, as hard as the surrounding binding. Because if it's not and you try to drill it, if you're drilling it and it's half in a soft spot, the drill bit's going to wander and just go right into that soft binding because it's going to seek the path of least resistance. Learn that the hard way. So anyway, yeah, if you screw up your binding, you can always patch it with this method of mixing this slurry up with acetone and leftover binding, and it works great. But to avoid having to do this, I would just say pay attention to what you're doing. Obviously, I wasn't paying attention. I'm not going to make any excuses. I screwed up, and make it a teaching experience for you, or teaching moment, whatever. So, if this happens to you, don't let this happen to you. Anyway, we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. And, of course, behave yourself.